Ever wondered about those beautifully illustrated card decks? Most people immediately think of fortune telling, right? But what if I told you that's not how their story began? Let's rewind the clock to the mid-15th century to the lavish courts of northern Italy. Back then, the nobility weren't trying to predict the future with these cards. Instead, these exquisite hand-painted decks, known as carte de triomphe or triumph cards, were a popular pastime. They were used for a complex trick-taking game, similar to modern-day bridge. Having a stunning artist-commissioned deck was also a major status symbol. Imagine showing off a set of cards that were essentially miniature, portable works of art. It was all about entertainment, strategy, and social display. The intricate images like the Emperor, the Lovers, or the Wheel of Fortune were inspired by allegorical themes common in Renaissance art and literature. They reflected the world and the values of the people who played with them. There was no secret arcane code hidden within them, at least not at first. They were simply beautiful objects for a popular game, so when did the switch happen? The mystical interpretations we're familiar with today are actually a much more recent development. It wasn't until the late 18th and 19th centuries, during a widespread occult revival, that writers and esoteric thinkers began to reinterpret these Renaissance images. They saw the cards not as game pieces, but as a key to ancient wisdom, connecting them to everything from Egyptian hieroglyphs to Kabbalistic philosophy. They created complex systems of meaning, assigning symbolic and predictive significance to each card. Figures like Antoine Comte de Gébelin and later, Eliphas Levi, were pivotal in shaping this new understanding. They essentially layered a new narrative onto these centuries-old images, transforming them from artifacts of play into tools for divination. This new perspective caught on, leading to the creation of decks specifically designed for these symbolic purposes. What's fascinating is how this evolution reflects broader cultural shifts. We see a journey from Renaissance allegories understood by their contemporary audience to a later romantic fascination with uncovering lost or hidden knowledge. The cards themselves didn't change much initially, but our way of looking at them did completely. It's a perfect example of how history is often a process of reinterpretation. So the next time you see a deck of these illustrated cards, remember their dual history. They began as a game for the elite, a masterpiece of Renaissance art, and only later became the symbolic oracle we often perceive them as today. It's a story of art, games, and the human desire to find deeper meaning in the world around us. Thanks for joining me on this historical journey. If you enjoyed learning about the true origins of these cards, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the stories behind the objects we think we know.